these people who are just amazing pass away, and then everybody talks about them and says things that they'll never hear.
Mm-hmm.
And, comedy icons pass on, and then everybody says, oh my God, weren't they absolutely amazing?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, isn't there a way?
You're angling on this for yourself, right?
I'm just saying I don't feel well today. No.
I've got a little bit of a sniffle, so maybe let's pretend I'm dying. I've got a little bit of a...
No, please, no. But what I'm saying is I felt that way a couple of times where, for example, with like Norm Macdonald, who I thought was such a brave and unusual comedian, and he was not being discussed at all and wasn't being talked about and wasn't part of the conversation. Then he dies and everybody comes out and says, what a remarkably unique comedic voice that we'll never see again. And I thought, well, I don't like this system.
But he would have hated that.
He would have hated it, but
I mean, I'm not.
But also, here's the thing:
he still should hear it.
He should hear it, and also, even people that hate it kind of need to hear it. I think sometimes,
for sure, I agree with that.
So
I mean,
anyway,
I think it just happened with Carl Weathers. Like, I think that for the certain generation of people, whether it's from the Rocky movies or from Happy Gilmore, Carl Weathers or Arrested Development, he really sort of there's something he does specifically that really sheds that is joyful and exciting. And you then he passes away, and you're like, oh, we never.
I have a nice memory, which is a couple of years ago, I got invited to something Adam Sandler was having, and it was a bunch of people that he knew, party event. And so I went to it, and there's, all kinds of famous people there who I've met before. And I'm okay, all right. And then I go over to like the line to get food, and standing in line, I realize it's Carl Weathers is right next to me. And I was awestruck because I was 13 or 12 when Rocky came out, and then probably 14 when Rocky 2 came out, something like that. And I love Carl Weathers. And so I talked to him for a little bit. He could not have been nicer.
Yep.
He was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to him, you have no idea, Carl, I'm leaving this event and I'm calling my brothers and saying I just hung out with Carl Weathers. And this is a party that all these people are at.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, thank you. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I mean, I was happy that when he passed, I didn't even know that he was ill. And this is what happens these days.
Mm-hmm.
These people touch your life. They're cool. He was also on Arrested Development playing himself, and he was abso-fucking-lutely hilarious.
And you've heard the story that you can turn that into a soup or whatever. You can get a stew going. That was like it was his idea to play the broke version of Carl Weathers.
Yes. It was his idea, which a lot of people would, you could see so many stars saying, I'm not going to do that. He actually had this idea that or contributed to the idea, I don't know, but that he'd be Carl Weathers, and he's been an actor all his life, and he's very economical about get these sandwiches, and you know what? You can put them in your pocket, and are you finished with that? There's one point where this total chaos breaks out in some scene on Arrested Development, and he's running away, and he's got the foil swan that you get when food, you've had them wrap up the food you didn't eat. Right now, fleeing with the foiled swan. Oh my God. But anyway, my point being, I think it's nice that, I think Denzel Washington is respected, but very respected, but I feel like what you're saying is no, there needs to be a brighter light on this person. And then, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think that, and that's where I feel like there's ways to sort of deal with the current era we live in. Some is like directly addressing the pain points and sort of go, I'm going to show up here and help these people out or donate or whatever, or I'm going to highlight this. And there's ways of like, just try to create more joy in the world to combat the anger algorithm. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like when Creed came out, I wrote this article about the Rocky series, because it wasn't until the Rocky series came out that I understood that, like, I wasn't the only black kid who was like watching Rocky, and like really, like Ryan Coogler was watching Rocky too, and he was a kid. Mm-hmm. And Carl Weathers' role in that, first of all, it's a brilliant role that Sylvester Stallone wrote, But Carl Weathers was doing so much in it with the limited screen time he had that really like stuck with me and a bunch of other people as we grew up. So I got to sort of write this little tribute to him in that. And I was really, when he passed away, I don't know that he ever saw it. I don't care. But I felt like at least, I feel like it's important to put that stuff out there because you just never know. You know, it's like Tracy Chapman coming back recently and suddenly being like, it's this great moment of her at the Grammys, and we're all like, we love you, we haven't seen you, we just want to say, like, we get to sort of like flood her with love. She's like, great, I'm going back to the supermarket and home. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't necessarily seem to need it either, but it feels good collectively to express positivity in a time when that doesn't get rewarded.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's for us more than it's for them sometimes in a weird way.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get reminded of how important a person is when you like, for example, Tracy Chapman in Fast Car. It's like, a lot of people are like, I forgot how much this meant to me. And so I'm glad that this song and this opportunity reminded me of it. But often that doesn't happen until they pass away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to want you to really step up when I go.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I'm going to write some stuff for you.
Okay, please do. Please do. I'd rather have it pre-written so I don't mess it up.
And also so you have something to say.
No one influenced my life more
than Conan
O'Brien. As a child, I looked up to him, even though we're close in age.
He was the Denzel Washington of very white Irish Catholic.
He was the Michael Jordan of Denzel Washington.
Oh my God.